What I always find fascinating is when people will look at trends and refer to them as being only outliers. In other words, the situation with the Somalis in Minnesota, where they're saying we're blaming all Somalians for the actions of just a few bad actors. But the truth of the matter is, in that state where you find that 80% of the residents are dependent upon state funds or federal funds, welfare, if you will, and only 20% of them don't, and a significant percentage of them are actually involved in some of the criminal activity that's going on, or at least is alleged to be going on. You realize that this may be more of a pattern than just an outlier. And I think it's something that you see around the world, that wherever there is a dominant Islamic culture, you find that many of the values as Westerners that we take for granted are denied and not even recognized. So even a place like Qatar, where 80% of the people are foreigners that have been brought in to work for the emir and his regime, they are basically a autocratic kingship where there's no voting, there's no rights. And that is more in alignment with the way that the Islamic world looks. And that's why we find that there are really only one country, Indonesia, which has any semblance of being a democratic nation. All the rest of them have different forms of autocracy or totalitarianism, where the average person doesn't have a say in the day-to-day life or the governance of their nation.